안녕하세요. Welcome to Next Matchup. Today I'm making 팽이버섯 Kim-mari. 팽이버섯 Kim-mari just means Enoki mushrooms, that's 팽이버섯, and Kim-mari is basically where we take Kim, which is Seaweed Laver, and then we wrap it up. So we're going to wrap these up in Kim, in seaweed. Alright, let's begin. I'm using green onion as a topping. You can also use green onion, you can use some red and green peppers as well. The sauce, there's a couple of different ways to do it. This one is very sweet and sticky, which is what I want, but there's other ways to do it too. For this one, just make sure you mix it up well. You don't want big bits of sugar in it, and you want that sugar to have dissolved. So do it first. Make sure your enoki mushrooms are washed and then sort of dried off a little bit before you prepare them. Give them a good cut once they're ready and get your Kim ready to go. The Kim is easy, you don't need to cut it, just fold it. It's so simple, look at me go. And it's so satisfying. 2 folds and then split it in half. When you're sticking this together, just use a little bit of water and it will work perfectly. So I'm just using a tiny bit on the end and it's stuck like glue. For rolling this up, what you want to do is put your 팽이버섯 on top and then just cut the remainders. Now you can reuse those for another dish, but yeah, make sure you don't throw them away. The tops are pretty good. You can use them for a lot of different things, so look up something and cook that as well. Use a little bit of water, just the same as we did before, to stick it together. And make sure you do it tight because the 팽이버섯, even though the videos make it look like they're very tight, sometimes they are a little loose. To cut it in even pieces, cut it in half, then just cut it in half again. Make sure it's always even. You can use any type of starch powder, just make sure you don't put too much and you don't put too little. I give it a tap afterwards just to remove any excess. Or a shake. It's pretty easy. Make sure it's covered and that'll make sure that you've got a nice crunch on it, and it will also thicken up the sauce once you add it. A medium heat is fine, maybe a little bit medium high so you get it nice and crispy. Just make sure that when you're cooking it, you're not burning it. The minute it turns golden brown, just flip it over. You'll be able to know when it's done because it is a little bit crispy, right? That's why we're frying it in that oil, and that's why we've covered it in the starch powder. It has to be crispy because otherwise when we add in the sauce, it'll get too squishy, and we don't want that. Once it's ready, get that sauce in there and fry it up. It smells so good. You have no idea. You definitely have to try it. It's worth it for the smell alone, to be honest. So wait until that sauce thickens up. That's how you know it's basically done. But of course you need to flip things over so that they're nice and covered. And then they'll taste absolutely delicious. Throw in your toppings, whatever they may be. Mine is some sliced green onion. Use whatever you've got in your house. You don't have to worry too much about it. Remember, the mushroom and the sauce is the key thing in this dish. We're just adding color at this point. Spread it out. Look at that. I've turned off the heat, letting it bubble away, and it looks beautiful, which is what we're all about. So of course, now we're going to plate it up and stick around to the end because I'm going to eat it and tell you what I thought of it. These are delicious. Oh, they're like fancy little bites, like something you'd find in a fine dining restaurant. Look at that. Let's eat. So good, so good. It's 2 more. I think I should share them with my wife.